Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to talk to you about elements and molecules and breaking bonds. We have lots of elements in our world. Most of them like to get together. Make some bonds, connect, and form molecules. Any atom that attaches to another atom, two or more atoms together, is a molecule. So here I have a water molecule. I have an oxygen atom with two hydrogen atoms. If I put it in this pot, I'm going to heat it up. And if I heat the water to boiling, it's going to go through a physical reaction. Here we have heat from the flame that's touching the pot. Now the pot is absorbing the thermal energy from the flame. The thermal energy that is now in the metal of the pot is conducting it directly to the water molecules that are in the pot. Anytime you have direct touching contact, if it is touching, then you have conduction. Conduction is the transfer of heat by one object touching another. As these water molecules absorb more and more heat, they get more and more excited. They start to move around and they start to do what we call boiling. Boiling is the point at which a liquid is turning into a gas. Turning into a gas is called evaporation. And keep in mind, these water molecules, as excited as they are, as much energy as we've put into them, they are still just water. They're water vapor now instead of water liquid. It is a physical change. A chemical change is when we break something. If I take the oxygens and the hydrogens and I break a hydrogen off, break off the hydrogens, I'm going to have an oxygen atom and I'm going to have two hydrogen atoms, and they're going to float around for a while. Eventually they'll want to get together and hook up with somebody else, and maybe they'll form back into water, maybe they'll form back into another molecule, meeting up with the different elements that are around. A bond is something that holds two things together. For example, glue or tape. I'm bonding these two tennis balls by taping them together. That is a bond. Both oxygen and hydrogen like to attach to other things. They won't be alone for long. But to break that molecule of water, I'm going to need a lot more energy than just boiling water on the stove. Boiling water on the stove requires bringing the temperature up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. To get these to separate, I need to put more energy in. I need to put in energy on the level of 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the amount of energy necessary to break these bonds. We can do that with a bolt of lightning or putting an electrical current going through the water. Don't try this at home. I'll show you a way that we can do this in another episode. It's one of the technologies behind fuel cell cars. We put energy in to break a molecule. Let's say these tennis balls are atoms. What happens when I put the two atoms together? How is the energy affected? What happens when I break these atoms apart? Where does the energy come from and where does it go? All right, so the answer is, if I put two atoms together, I'm releasing energy. There's going to be, pow, some energy. Energy. When I break the atoms apart, I have to put energy in. Energy goes in. When energy goes into a system, it breaks bonds. When energy comes out of a system, it's when bonds are forming. That is a chemical reaction. Remember, the oxygen and hydrogen don't want to stay alone. They will find new bonds very quickly. But the energy that we put into the system, that's still there. That energy doesn't go away. It doesn't evaporate into nothing. It has to be somewhere. And that energy is stored in the bonds of the molecule. Within the bonds of the molecule is where the energy is stored. We need energy to go into the system to break bonds apart. When we put energy, we need energy to go into the system to break bonds apart. When we put bonds back together, making new bonds, then we release energy. When the atoms bond and form new molecules, they release energy. Say it again. When the atoms bond and form new molecules, they release energy. It is the forming of new bonds that release energy. Check out these links, explore the atom and bonds, and have a great day, guys.